Welcome back to Mystic Island's trading card game. Today, we're going to be going over deck building rules for my game Mystic Island's trading card game. So, first of all, we're going to start off with, if you did not watch the last video, I highly recommend you watch that. I'm going to go over that very quickly, what I talked about in that video, which was the Rarity video. Now, Rarity actually affects deck building in a very interesting way in my game. So most games, if you have cards, every card is usually, you can put four copies of every card in your deck. But in my game, it's a little different. So how mine works is, I'm going to give you a little bit of an example here. So Safeguarding Soul is a mage faction card. And down here is the little set symbol for set 1. And it is black. So black is a common. So commons, you can have up to 4 of that specific card in your deck. Just to clarify, it does not mean you can only have 4 commons in your deck overall. It means you can have 4 commons of each common with different names in your deck. So I could have 4 Frost Atronachs, 4 Safeguarding Souls, and it would be completely legal. So commons, you can have 4 of any card in your deck. Next, we have uncommons, which are blue down here. I think you can see that there. So blue is actually uncommon. So you can run 3 uncommons in your deck of any different name. So that's pretty awesome as well. So it's just 1 less. And then same thing with rares, following the same idea here. They are red at the bottom, and you can only have 2 of that specific name in your deck if they are a rare. So I can only have 2 Magni Bronzebeards in my deck if I wanted to run him. So it makes them a little bit more valuable, and that way I can make the cards a little better. And then we have the most special card in the deck that you could ever put in is a leader card. Now every faction has a leader, and their symbol moves from in that little corner there down to right here at the bottom of the card, and it's always going to be yellow so you can see it. And yellow means a leader card, obviously, and their rarity is actually the rarest card in the game, and you can only have 1 leader at all in your deck. So you can't, for example, say these have different names, you cannot have 2. You can only have 1 leader at all in your deck. So second thing to look for in your deck is, I know other games like Magic the Gathering and things like that, they have a land system where you can basically, they have a land for each color in the game. So you can basically make a deck with any colors in it as you want. So you can have like a red, blue, green, black deck if you wanted to in Magic. But this does not work out in my game because my mana system is not the same. So the way my mana system works is we actually have Chaos Crystals as your resource. Now every player has to have 15 of these in their resource zone, I guess. It's called your stash. And the white here just is meaning Chaos Crystal, so it's not really a rarity, but it just goes in a different pile for you. So these are basically your resource cards. Now, once you purchase these are the key to playing the game forever, pretty much, because you can play these with any deck. They are interchangeable with every single deck. It's not like you can run these only with the dwarves or only with the skeletons or anything like that. So these are very important. You need those to play the game. So obviously you got to pick those up before you even pick these cards up, which those are available on the Game Crafter. I have a little bundle where you get guaranteed a rare, and I'll be going over that product soon and everything like that. But check that out on the Game Crafter if you want. I'm going to move on here. So the rule is that you can only have up to 2 factions per deck maximum. So you can have a deck with only goblins if you want. Go for it. You can have a deck with only pirates if you want. Do it. If you want to get a little bit crazy with it, you can go skeletons pirate. You can do that. But you cannot go goblin dwarf pirate. You can't use 3 in your deck. The only case in which you can use a different faction card is if you have a neutral faction card. Neutral faction does not count as a 3rd faction, so it can be interchanged. So I can run skeleton mage and neutral faction cards in that deck as well, and it will be completely legal as long as you have the right amount of cards in the deck equal to your, uncommons, commons, rares, and leaders, accordingly. So I'm going to show you guys the deck that my neighbor actually created. It's a pretty good deck. It is an aggressive deck. It is a Goblin Pirate deck. So it's basically specializes in dealing as much damage as fast as possible, and then over time gaining yourself health and playing fast. So to start off his deck, it is a 57 card deck. I should also mention that the minimum deck size is 36. That's the lowest you can have. So it is pretty low. So if you do want a deck that is very focused on one specific thing, 36 cards is probably your favorite number right now to make a deck with. But you have to be careful not to run out of cards during the game, because if you try to draw from a deck that has no cards in it, you lose the game. So that being said, this is a 57 card deck that he created, and the maximum size deck is 100. So you can have a pretty big deck. I don't even think that's possible with the amount of cards in the game. I have 110 cards in the game right now, and split between 2 faction. I don't know if that is possible. But Forbidden Spell is a card that he is running. This is a neutral ability card. You can run up to 4. He's running 3. Put that right there. It's a good way to just bounce target ability cards and basically make them have no effect, and they are destroyed. First rare in his deck is Precious Gems. Every time you draw a card, gain 1 health. He's going to run maximum 2 of those because it is a rare, only 2. Goblin Chain Twirler, another rare, running 2 of those. Amber. He gains a +1 attack, +1 defense every time he hits your opponent for damage and survives. Mystical Aegean Dragon, a rare again. When this creature is killed, gain 3 health and put it at the bottom of your deck instead of putting it in the graveyard. A very good rare. Part of the meta, kinda. Elite Swashbuckler, another rare. I guess we're going through all the rares here. Every time a pirate faction creature dies while this creature is on the battlefield, draw a card and gain 2 health. It's a good way of gaining health while playing your guys. Restful Grizzly Bear, I showed you a little bit earlier. You can run up to 4. He's only running 2 though. Solo Drunken Sailor. When this creature is played into the battlefield, lose 2 health, but he's untapped and deals 2 damage for a 1 cost. So he comes out ready to attack. Early game, if you get all 3 of these guys out, your opponent is going to not have a great day. This next card is very annoying. One of my favorite cards though. I love the artwork and I love the concept of him. He is Grunt Goblin. When this creature dies, deal 4 points of damage to the caster that killed the Grunt Goblin. So basically, your opponent can just leave him up, let him die, and when you kill him, you take 4 damage. And he is running a maximum of 3 because he is an uncommon. Uncommon is a max of 3, obviously. Memory Theft is a good way of searching out creatures worth 1 in your deck. You do lose 2 health when you play it, but it is okay. He's only running 2 because of that ability. It is a common. Passive Shipboy, another common. He is untapped, 1 attack, 2 defense for 2. He's a good defensive card if you're, in a little bit of a jam. So he's going to run 3 of those there as a common. Good solid 1 cost here. Goblin Warrior, 1 attack, 1 defense. When he enters the battlefield, your opponent takes 1 damage. Good way of just getting early damage out. He's going to run max of 4. Good for him. Civil Centaur is going to be in this deck as well. Another neutral faction creature. Every round, draw a card and discard a card. If when you use this ability, you draw another Civil Centaur, you gain 3 health. He's going to run 2 of those, so he can possibly draw into another Civil Centaur and gain himself health. Bloodthirsty, some removal in this deck. It's pretty great card here. Target creature or caster takes 4 damage. When you cast this ability, you lose 2 health though. So he's going to run a max of 4 here, and that is a very good card. Very, very, very good removal in this game. That and Fireball are basically the 2 removal spells. So Backstabbing Goblin is a common as well. Every time he attacks, he always does 1 extra point of damage to the opponent no matter what. He's going to run 4 of those. He has Traveler's Fortune, a good way of drawing cards and gaining health through the Precious Gems ability I showed you earlier. So you draw 3 cards and discard 1 here. He's going to run a max of 4. Mighty Captain, 5 attack, 4 defense, no ability, just a very solid creature. And he's going to run 2 of those guys, 2 Mighty Captains. Is it common? So uncommon here, Fierce Troll Brute. When casted, put a +1 attack, -1 defense on target Goblin faction creature you control until death. So if he's the only one you do control, you put it on him. He'll be a 7/4. If not, you can put it on any other Goblin you like. He's actually going to run a max of 3 in this deck, just to get some big dudes out there. Some 6 and 7 attackers. Got Goblin Nightcrawler. This is a very good card, very underrated, uncommon. You can pay 1 while he's on the battlefield to lose 2 of your own health, and your opponent loses 4. So you can only use that skill once per creature, but that's okay, because he's still very good. We have Dead Man's Wish, just in case your opponent kills your big pirate creature. Add chaos crystals to your stash equal to the worth of the top pirate faction creature in your graveyard. He's going to run 2 of those. You can run a max of 3. Drunken Slumber is an uncommon. Put a -3 attack, -0 defense on target creature this turn. Only going to run 1. Bloodthirsty Orc. When this creature is casted, lose 3 health, discard a card from your hand, but every time he kills a creature, 1 attack, 1 defense is added to him. Limit of 3, 1 of him. Savvy Raider. If you draw 2 or more cards while this creature is on the battlefield, your opponent must take the top card of their deck and put it in the graveyard. Good way to slim decks down. He's going to run 2 of those, and then the last 2 cards here are Captain of the Reef. 1 cast to draw a card, reveal it to everybody. If it's a pirate faction creature, gain 2 health. That was a lot of talking. Hopefully you guys do understand the concept here. I'm going to have my website linked down below, where you guys can see all the cards in the game if you're interested in seeing that. I'm also linked down below is the Game Crafter, where you can buy the starter decks. So just in case you're not sure how to make the deck still, or how to make a good one, you could always take these, buy some booster packs, and upgrade them over time. With the Rarity system being how it is, you can always get more of the good cards, of course, in the booster packs. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this video. Thank you so much for watching, and peace out.